use this area. So, map out, you can see the rocket coming in, zooming in. Here she comes. Woohoo! Okay. Our first Mars landing. Hey, g'day and welcome back to another Let's Play. In this Let's Play, we're playing Surviving Mars. Okay, super excited about this one. First of all, before we start, a big thank you to Paradox Interactive for a copy of this pre-release to allow me to sort of create content to get it out there. So what is Surviving Mars? Now, Surviving Mars is I guess it's a colony-based simulation. So it's about colonizing Mars and surviving in the process. Hence the title. Build domes, infrastructure. Make sure you get the financial support. Search new possibilities. Utilizing both, I guess, drones and also humans and Martians once they're born to get out there. So, individually simulated colonists, futuristic space dome constructions, which is really nice. At the same time, you're also exploring technology such as what Mars holds and the secrets. It is a randomized tech tree, and that actually makes it quite exciting, and we'll show that a little bit later on the game. Because every game that you play and every start, the tech tree is actually randomized, so it's not, the tech tree isn't the same every time you play the game. It also has mod support and. Let's get into it. So we'll start a new game. So first of all, starting the game itself, you've got a couple of criteria that you want to set to just get your, I guess, picking your individual requirements that you would like for the game. So first of all, it's your mission sponsor. Now with your mission sponsor, you've got, what do we got there? We've got 10 choices out of the mission sponsor, from very easy, which is your International Mars mission. Obviously a lot more funds, reasonable research and starting applicants, larger rocket and so forth. USA, 3 rockets, still easy, million funds, and you do get periodic additional funding. Blue Sun Corporation, China, India, Europe, Space Y, there you go, bit of a pun, Church of the New Ark, Russia, and then just picking a random start. Okay, for the element of the Let's Play, let's just start with something easy so we can get it in and focus more on the game rather than getting beaten up every time that we start. So we'll start on USA. Next thing you got is your commander profile. Now the commander profile just gives you a unique ability to help you sort of start off. So in this case here, the inventor, the drones gradually optimize for work and construct faster. But the bonus tech is the drone hubs no longer require patent power and maintenance, and that's actually quite a handy one. I found in other games that I've played and streamed that if you run out of resource to maintain your drone hubs, it is a very quick decline until you can get that drone hub up and running, because it just means that they no longer repair all the other ones. So that's not a bad one if you don't get it in the tech tree early. Fuel production is increased. Hydro domes consume 25% less water, and that's not bad as well because they do suck a bit of water. Doctor, psychologist, politician, futuristic, ecologist. Start with rare mineral deposits revealed, not a bad one. And rocket scientist. Now I do like this one as well because it actually, you start with your jet propulsion and your shuttle hub, and the shuttle hub is actually nice, and we'll probably do a couple of let's plays just so you see the what's been revealed on the on some of the areas. So we're actually going to start with this one and hopefully get the shuttle hub up and running during this early stages of the let's play. Or actually we'll go with the drone hubs. We haven't I haven't done this one. Last one we've got is your logo. So we've got the Mars Express, and we can scroll down. I personally like this one, being a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fan. And then the mystery. So I think the mystery is actually what's at the end state of the game. So you can pick something to actually finish, but I haven't got to this stage in the game yet. So we'll see what what it comes. So let's just pick one there, and let's jump in. So the next stage that we actually have, so once you've actually selected your mission sponsor, commander profile, company logo, and the mystery, so we've got an overall of the effects of the selection you've had, hitting the next will then do your first payload. So it will predefine a prefab building. So in this case here, they've given you one prefab drone hub, a fuel refinery, a Stirling generator by 2, and if I go back, a rover explorer transport and a number of minerals. Now I'm just going to change it up a little bit. Basically, I don't want the fuel refinery. I'm happy to take that in the next payload. And I don't want the Stirling generators. So the Stirling generators is obviously generates power, but we can generate power through solar and other parts as well. So that's the. So I'm not going to take the Stirling generator. Happy to take the fuel refinery. What I do want, actually we don't know, I want a moisture vaporizer. So if I don't get water to start off with, I've got a way of actually developing water. I don't want the machine parts, electronics factories. I'll put them in later launches once we've established a dome. Coming through here, I do want a rover, an explorer, and a transport. I could probably hold off on the transport. Orbital probes 2, I think that's a nice start. It'd be nice to get a few more drones just to start off with around the workload, and I think I'm happy with that. If I wanted to drop some weight, I would drop a little bit of the transport to start off with, because we will send a second rocket fairly soon after the first one. So the main one is really just the making sure we've got the resources. We want to make sure we've got polymers, machine parts, and electronics. Okay, so I am happy with that. We've still got 5 million in funds. We've still got another rocket. Let's go. Let's see you on Mars. So the next thing we get to go is we get to pick our location. So you've got a couple of predefined areas with the sets of how many metals, concrete and water, and then also the threats. So the devil dust, dust storms, meteors and cold waves. But you don't have to pick the predefined areas. If you want, you can actually randomize by looking for places on the map that may suit your type of style. Okay, so we've got one here that we don't mind. It is actually a predefined area. Relatively flat, average altitude, mortars, concrete and water. So I am happy that I grabbed the water, the moisture vaporizer, because obviously it just doesn't have a lot of water there. Maybe if I can find something that's a little bit better on the water, and we can, I'm thinking I can drop the concrete. I find when I actually play, concrete seems to be in plentiful supplies. Oh, too many meteors. Alright, we'll go back here and we'll take this one. Okay, let's begin. Okay, so let's drop our ship, but before we drop our ship, we can see that we've got the opening here. We've got a nice ridge line down through the middle, and we've got an open area here. So what we are going to need, to build a tunnel system to get from the bottom of the map to the top of the map. One of the downfalls of being down the bottom of the map is also the fact that your altitude is lower. So when you're actually got your wind turbines, you're actually getting less wind. So we've got two choices. We could actually default and start opening up some of the areas up here. But we've got a larger area down here by the looks of it. It's probably actually quite even. So let's have a look. So first of all, we've got two scanners. So I'm going to use these two scanners early. Just have a quick look at these two open areas here. Because then it just opens up the resources. Then I'm actually going to press the left mouse button for those that are on PC and just start the scanning of nearby areas. So let's just zoom in and see what we got. So WASD, obviously, just to move the cursor, the mouse, just to zoom out a little bit. We can actually have a look by left clicking. We can actually see we've got a decent amount of concrete here. We've got 3 concrete areas here, which are actually quite nice. The anomaly, we do have water. Okay, and that's nice, even though it's very low. Both are very low. It is nice to have some water close by. Plus, we've also got very high and average. We've got some yields of metal within this area. The tough bit that's going to be, though, is trying to get a dome. And although we're not going to place the dome yet, you need to be conscious that when you place your dome, if you want to extract those metals, it has to be within that that hexagon area. So I'm not going to be able to do it there because of the uneven ground, but I may be able to. I think. I could place the dome there, which would allow me to actually get maybe both of those metals. That's okay, plus the water is close, maybe a little bit too close, but we can work with that, and we've got this other water supply here that we can actually use. So I'm happy with this area. Let's drop our rockets. So I'm going to drop my rockets over on this side, so simply press it. You've got your blast area where the rocket's going to come in and take off again. The only frustrating bit a little bit with this is the uneven ground, but we will definitely use this area. So map out, you can see the rocket coming in, zooming in. Here she comes. Woohoo! Okay, our first Mars landing. And there they come. So the first couple of things that we had, obviously we only took just to speed to do it, we took the Explorer and we took the rover. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our Explorer and we're going to head over and start looking at these anomalies, and this will actually help. So now that we're actually in Mars itself, let me just go through the HUD display, I guess, and an overview of what we've actually got. So first of all, obviously to start off with, there is a little bit of a tutorial, so you can actually use the hints that come through to help you get going. The first one is your build menu, and that will actually open up a number of slides down the bottom to start. So building your infrastructure, your power, production, life support being your water and your oxygen, storage supplies such as all your depots, your domes, your basic, your medium, and your large, I think it is, or it might be another one. Homes, education and research, dome services, and finally, decorations. But the decorations aren't just purely cosmetic. They actually have an impact on your people's sanity and their happiness whilst they're in the actual domes themselves. So the decorations are a vital part of the game. Your speeds down the bottom, obviously your progression of your soul, the amount of humans, the amount of droids, and then on the left hand side, just getting rid of that, you've got the colony overview, which is actually an O, which will bring up the amount of resources that you actually have, so your starting resources, the colonists themselves, but we don't have colonists, and traits, so you can get a space of how many staff you've got, the types of specialisation, traits, perks, flaws, and rare traits that they may have, and that will come in when we actually bring our first lot of humans, or our founding humans, to Mars. Milestones, so you actually crack through, so it will show through the milestones and the points or the score you get to the ultimate, which is what you need to do is construct your mega dome and your wonder. a radio, so we do have an interactive radio station. So let's just go to Red Frontier. And we'll list a bit of Red Frontier, and then the last one is the main menu, which is your saves and that. So we're actually scanning the anomaly here, but the first thing we need to do is start putting down some depots and storage, because everything, when we click, is still stuck within the actual rocket itself. So we're going to use this area in the middle as a bit of a depot area, as a bit of a staging area for the entire game. So a couple of things we want to do is let's drop down some depots. We'll start very simply with a universal, but we need to make sure it's within the actual rocket itself, or else they won't actually reach. So when you're clicking on it, it will show you the spans of how far the drones will actually go for here. Now you can move your depots, so you don't need to be too concerned that if you drop them and then you can't use them. So we'll drop the depots there, and you'll find that they will actually start. They'll start bringing the supplies out of the actual rocket themselves, and you can see them zooming in. You can see the little boys, the drones, working hard on dropping those out. The next one we actually have, so we actually got two drones. We've got a remote controller, or a drone explorer, who does the anomalies. We also got a drone remote control. So what it actually allows you to do is to...
The readings told us it was a vein rich with ore, but the data turned out to be incorrect. Under those fine red sands lay the intact hull of a rover.
Nice. Display a monument in the colony. Special research bonus of 10%. Now I don't have that at the moment. And you can choose. So obviously as you scan the anomalies, they come up with options. In this case here, I can get $500,000 in funding. It will display a monument for social research boost. So I'm actually going to take the monument because the research is important, not early in early game, but certainly continuing through the game to make sure you get the technology itself. Now we didn't go through a little bit on the side. So we've got obviously the build menu. The map menu will let you scroll out by pressing M, and you can zoom in on the area. The other one is the resupply, so that will send you back to what does look like the initial screen to choose. You're getting your cargo rocket or a passenger rocket. Tells you the amount of rockets you have available, and you can buy rockets, but on the other hand, you'll keep sending them back, and your funding. And the last thing you have is your research screen. So what you want to do at this stage, in the early stages, is make sure you start your research. This is what we're saying is actually randomized. So don't forget to do this, because if you don't do this, you're not actually doing any research. So these are the first 6 options that you've been given through. Obviously biotech, engineering, robotics, physics, social, and breakthrough. The breakthrough are special researches that you can actually find as you're doing exploring Mars, and that will come through. These are predefined by scrolling to the right. There's certainly a ton of researches to do, but as I said, this is randomized. For instance, the advanced Martian engines may be number 1 here. You play the game tomorrow, you might find advanced Martian engines somewhere up the chain there. So let's have a look at what we've got. So soil adaptation, which produces food for larger domes, which is fine. We just don't need it. It doesn't need to be the first one. Engineering requires less fuel. I really like this one. Drovers and drones move faster. Adapted probes do deep scan, also a good one. Scientists and botanists, definitely another nice one. And as we've already got, because it's grade, drain hubs no longer require power and maintenance that we had there. So we're going to go for this one, which is the drones. We're going to go for the power, which is second. You can take 5 in your research queue. Right click if you want to change it, and I'm just going to do the probe, so they'll actually do deep scans, and that means you don't have to rescan the location. And I'm going to leave it here because we're not doing the hubs, but I'll do that one. And then we'll close it up. Now the scan of the hubs is what we had at the beginning. So the scan is what they're doing, and this is the order that they're going to scan these grids. So this is what they're scanning at the moment. Once that research is completed, any deep resources will be made available. Alright, so the drones are doing two things. They're actually grabbing the resources from the ship, but at the same time, they're also picking up, there is some metals sitting on the surface of Mars, so they're picking up those as well. So let's just drop the rest of our depots to start our little depot area here. Don't need food, don't need res, we probably need a little polymer one to start off with. Electronics, machine parts, we'll put fuel on this side so it's closer to where I'm landing my rocket ships. And that's good. So it's just a little depot area. Now what we've got here, we've got a universal one, and that will actually carry a maximum of 30 of every resource. So that will actually just contain, these other ones can actually hold up to 180. So it's a specialized depot just for that resource itself. All right, as we've zoomed out, and you can see just a few changes in the map there, we're going to stop that for the first part of the Let's Play. What we've actually achieved in this one is obviously set up the initial setup of the game and the attributes and the traits that you wanted to start off. We've landed our first rocket on Mars, and now the resources are coming out. So thank you very much for watching the episode 1 of Surviving Mars. Once again, thank you very much to Paradox Interactive for the pre-release key for us to create the content. Don't forget to hit the likes and hit the subscribe if you'd like to see more of Surviving Mars or anything else I'll do. And most importantly, please leave comments if I'm going too fast, going too slow. If there's particular areas or questions you have, I read all the comments, I do reply, and it definitely helps me create the content that you want to see. So thank you very much. Enjoy coming out on the 15th, and we will see you in the next episode. Thank you. Goodbye.